This could be my biggest evaluation so far. It was just to pull up everything highlighted is what has to be discussed. Um, so the first bit is this um, structure, this layout that I've given myself, just to be able to discuss my work. I did mark my own work. I found it hard not to be too critical or too lenient, or um, I struggled to understand maybe the key areas in which I might be lacking when marking my own work. So for context, I gave myself a merit. I was critical of what I did, or the work that I put into my context and why I did it, and I justified everything that I said, and I used the context to justify other work. I thought everything that I put in there was cohesive, and it very, very perfectly encapsulated everything that I intended to do with my stream, and everything that I was intending to do in general. With research, I gave myself a pass. All my context was justified through my research. Doing additional research to help further my project. I did primary and secondary. Um, so yeah. Um, Problem solving, merit. I adapted some work and attempted to further my work through editing my TikTok making process and changing my graphics according to my research. So the changes that I did to my new blue graphics, the changes that I did to my background display on my Streamlabs, the changes that I made as I set up a Streamlabs countdown and I edited it on OBS. So as we can see here, it just automatically goes into the countdown on OBS, whereas if I boot up Streamlabs and then wait for it to boot up, um, we go to the starting soon. The countdown is clearly on display, but then I'd have to minimize all of this, and I'd have to open this up. We change the time and we put it to 12:20 start, and then we go to here. I had to use a different system. I didn't use the SNAS system for this countdown, so I adjusted that to make that work. So that's an instance of my problem solving, plus changing this layout changing this background according to my mood board rather than according to the color scheme that I already had set out from the pictures that I have, or the Sigma image that I use is displayed everywhere in my branding. So yeah, I gave myself a merit for that because although there wasn't much problem solving, I would put that more down to sorry, you weren't even seeing what I was saying then. I would put that more down to this. Sorry. Although there wasn't much problem solving done, I'd put that down to the fact that there wasn't much problems to be solved, and I've just realised you wouldn't have actually even seen the countdown that I have for my for my Streamlabs because I changed to the wrong thing. So I'll just load this up. I'll set to the current time. We change that to 13, 13:40. We hit start, and then we go into here, and as you can see, I have to use that SNAS system which creates that countdown, whereas with OBS, I simply just go in and I'd click on the starting soon, and it just initiates a 5-minute countdown. Um, and then obviously the mood board I used to um, adjust the graphics in the background, and you can see a lot of the pink and blue reference here. and again there. So, yeah. So I would say that my problem solving for the problems that I encountered was fairly good. And the TikTok adaptations, which we're going to get to in a second, but the TikTok adaptations did work. Um, Planning and production merit. So thorough risk assessment and scene planning according to my brand. Um, so I would say that my planning and production was very good because a lot of what I did was planned out either through the mood board, like I just mentioned, or there was the planning of using all of this Sigma stuff to be able to really generate a consistent, thorough brand. Even on my Discord server, you can see here, it's my profile, it's my Discord server picture, and it's also my profile picture, which just little things help keep keep one nice cohesive image. Although I do think maybe merit is a little bit too high now looking at it. Practical skills. I gave myself a merit. I created consistent brand using my pre-established brand of Sigma. That again ties into this stuff. Creating all of these social medias and keeping it consistent. Um, Additional socials created through the use of research to determine what is best both secondary and primary. So that is in reference to this work here, discussing the monthly active users. It's also better shown somewhere in here, top 10 social medias, where I created a list of the top 10. And then I cut out the demographics that I wouldn't be looking at. So I obviously didn't use WeChat or QQ or Sina Weibo or Telegram, although some of these can't actually be advertised on, as for whatever reason their content, their weaknesses. I used all of this to help back up how I did and didn't promote myself. I created suitable graphics for my brand using audio and visuals. So the visual aspect obviously came again from the mood board that I created, and then the audio aspect came from the fact that I'm already using a lot of Sigma imagery. So then I used a Sigma voice line of him saying "brilliant" whenever a good interaction would happen, follow, subscription, donation, which obviously makes sense. It's Sigma saying brilliant to something good happening in relation to me and my stream. Evaluation. Pass. I consistently evaluating my own work through videos, not critical consistently and not always implementing change/improvement to my work. Although recently I've been improving my work, I would say in some of the other evaluations, I haven't been quite as critical of myself as I should be, and not always finding the flaws and then trying to implement a change, either by doing it again or by doing a similar thing again and implementing this into my work, which I think does drag my mark down a little bit. Presentation, I've given myself a distinction. Confident and clear presentation and display of my work using labels and properly organized. Um, so if we go into my context page, the task was to define purpose, tag, audience, and content, and that is exactly what I did. I then analyzed super. You can see this is discussing the context of the stream. This is my risk assessment. You can see at the top and there. I discuss my duration here. Um, This isn't actually labeled. I can do that now though. Just simply put cue sheet. Then we go down to research. Everything has always got a heading at the top. Copyright, top to most active social medias, engagement, So a little subheading here, which then, if we come down, discussed here, super retweeted a fan's post, Lendoth talking with someone in chat, channel point use, DMCA, Foley, streaming protocols, analyzing social media, Foley, formats and codecs, analyze streamers, visuals, microphones, TikTok algorithm, communication and communication analysis. There isn't a heading there either. But overall, I would say everything, audio editing, setting up socials, discussed it all there, headed everything, Discord, all of these different things are very, very clearly labeled and are displayed very, very clearly and efficiently, which is why I gave myself the distinction. Okay, and now on to the analysis of the TikTok. So the newer TikTok did better and brought more attention to my other video. So the newer TikTok had 43 views and boosted the previous TikTok to 36. Now that I've got it up, I'll just pull this up for you. It's gone up a little bit since I wrote that. It's gone up 2, but that's still on 36. So discussing why maybe. It got less likes as well, but it did also have a comment. It was only one less like, so there were a few factors that could have affected the interaction. I posted the video earlier. I included an audio, and not only did I include the audio, for what is a man? I also actually had it playing in the background this time rather than what happened last time, which was I just included an audio as I thought it might boost the viewership, which is currently a trend. You can see there I was hopping on a trend. Higher quality content. I would say that the content that I put out there is a good display of how good a video can be. It was cohesive, it made sense. There was a funny caption that I put in there, which is a big thing in TikTok in general. So POV, the Kiriko won't die. A POV thing is a very big thing in TikTok currently. A lot of videos will always include that. The bitrate is a lot higher, as you can see. The quality of the camera and the gameplay is so much higher, which I think also could have had a big impact. And overall, the video was jumping on a trend. It was cohesive. It made sense. It was funny. It shows what kind of streamer I am with the Overwatch content, and it overall just displayed everything. And finally, the stream. So the stream didn't go well. So we started with a countdown that I displayed just a second ago. What a countdown looks like. And there was music playing in the background. But when the countdown finished, the words were actually off center. So I've got a clip linked in here. So you see the countdown. It gets to the end, and then stream starting is off center, so I had to adjust that. And then you can see here. I'm talking, but you can't hear me, and that was because I started off the stream muted, because I muted my mic in the build up to starting the stream. And then after I finished, or sorry, like, once I realised, because somebody put a message in chat, thankfully, that saying I was muted, I realised that I forgot to unmute, and therefore nobody could actually hear me when I first started, which was obviously not the best way to start a stream. And then another display. I've just opened Streamlabs again. Another display of just a bit of a horror that went down in the stream was an error has occurred. What's going on? There we go. Let's close that, and then we go here. So the bitrate was too low. So I normally stream off Streamlabs and not OBS. So I was told by a viewer in chat that the bitrate was low again. I forgot to edit the bitrate and up it from 2500 to 6500. Which meant that the quality was very low. I learned yesterday how to do an armbar. No, sorry, not how to do an armbar, how to defend an armbar. And it is honestly... So that was evidence of the stream that I started before. Same title, 7 views. It was the first stream.
So much simpler than you think.
And then you can see there for a brief second, I do show it. And it is there's actually so much simpler 2 streams there, so both the same title. I had to restart the stream and up the bitrate.
Like you think that
you can see the quality's higher. I don't know what that video was. So yeah, obviously having to start and then restart a stream isn't good. I promoted my stream in a lot of places with the link to the first stream. I put that out. I sent it to a few servers. I pinged a few people. I tried to get a little bit of interaction going. I had about 2-3 viewers when I ended the stream, the first stream. Then I restarted and I forgot to re-promote the stream in the same places again, which essentially just meant that nobody who was clicking on the old link was actually being even directed to my stream, which would have caused confusion. People wouldn't have actually seen that I was still streaming and may have just clicked on and then realized that I wasn't, or thought that I wasn't streaming, or I'd stopped streaming, and then that has definitely caused a loss of viewership, I would say. I did swear a few times as well, which obviously prohibited in a under 18 stream. I only swore a few times. I realised I was swearing, and I put a lot of focus into not swearing, and I managed to drop it for the rest of the stream. I think I only swore 3 or 4 times, but obviously that is also not good. I did interact with people in chat, and I stayed vocal all stream, which is a bonus. My graphics did work, but then the audio that came with it was too quiet compared to everything else. So I had obviously music running in the background. I had desktop audios in the game. I had my microphone. So compared to all of that, the sound effects of these graphics and the pop-ups and the alerts and stuff just was not loud enough. But the graphics did work. Thankfully, everything worked perfectly fine besides the audio level. So in future, I'd have to consider the amount of noise that's going on with such a high pace action game. Obviously that didn't help. And my viewership was quite poor. I had an average of only 1 viewer. I would mostly put this down to stopping and then restarting the stream, but I could have maybe also been more interactive, although I would say I spoke to everybody that came into chat and I tried to keep viewership maintained. I did talk a lot. I was constantly speaking and trying to keep things interesting. I had the music to maintain focus, but obviously there's only so much you can do, especially when the stream is only going to be picked up by people who are following me and will get the notification, rather than the standard, which would be people see the link and would click on it in all the different servers. But besides that, I would say the stream went alright. It wasn't awful. There's definitely evidence of the work that I've put in, and I think it shows. Just a few silly mistakes kind of cost me a lot there. But overall, I'm happy with the way it turned out, and I'm happy with everything that has happened since. So that's it.